First, we have Janine, the flavor queen, Washle here, and she brought some great recipes for us, a lot of recipes. Janine, you've got our kitchen busy today.
I do. I was so excited about this upcoming cooking class that I'm doing, and it is about cooking with bourbon and with beer. So craft beers, we have so many wonderful craft breweries around. Of course, we are inundated with wonderful new bourbons. Every time I turn around, there's a new one coming out, and that's so exciting for me because I love the flavor profiles.
How does that flavor profile add to cooking when you're using a beer or you're using a bourbon?
Well, with beer, you can use more because you don't necessarily want to reduce it down because you can, if beer has hops in it, and the hops can become bitter if you reduce it down too much.
Okay.
Now, with bourbon, you want to use a light hand because bourbon, when it reacts with water, it actually blooms. So when you see people doing this on television and they're like literally pouring it in with abandon, you know, that is not a good thing. So we're going to talk about control and that sort of thing. So there are little tips and tricks like that we're going to learn about. Now, one wonderful place to use bourbon is in barbecue sauce. So this is a peach-based barbecue sauce, and we're going to make it easy and just start with an already prepared sauce. And this one, you know, those that have sweet heat, like a Casey Masterpiece or a Stubbs, something like that, that's what you want to start with. So we're starting with 2 cups of that. We're just adding some chopped peaches, and we cook it long enough just to soften the peaches, which is about 10 minutes. We add some apple cider vinegar. You can add a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of heat. Now, barbecue sauce wise, you do not want to use like a hickory smoked sauce because that will just muddy up the delicious flavor of the bourbon and the peaches.
So you want something sweet.
Yes, because we want the bourbon and the peaches to be the highlight.
Got it.
And so we don't want to use the smokiness. However, if you're like, I really love smoky stuff, smoked paprika is okay. It's light enough that we can do that. You cook this for 15 minutes, and you end up with this beautiful, thick sauce. And then what you do is you take a good quality bun. It can be a hamburger bun. Here I have Kaiser buns, and you load it with roast pork. So this is a great, if you have a roast pork left over, slice it thinly, put it on a bun, and then all we're doing is topping our buns with this thick, you can just see this beautiful sauce. Yes.
And you can change out the meat too. Use sliced chicken or turkey, right?
You absolutely can. Then we're topping it, just to drive that peach flavor home, we're topping it with some fresh peaches. These are bulb onions, those scallions that we see in the store. If we let them grow in the garden, they get a beautiful little bulb on them, and they're sweet and just a light onion flavor. And then I made some quick pickles, just using these Kirby's that I found at the farmer's market. And then we just come in with our homemade pickles, and you make the brine the night before.
How do you make your brine?
It's just vinegar, water, salt, allspice. Allspice is actually a pepper, so it adds a light peppery note. And then I just thinly slice on a box grater, so I kind of chip the pickles. I like to call them quickles because it's a quick pickle. So I just run the words together. And we just do that, and there you have a beautiful sandwich. And another way that you can have dessert, this is a Coca-Cola and bourbon cake. This is a perfect bundt cake, and I'm going to share the recipe with you because it has that delicious split in it right there. And we just flip it out of the pan.
Oh, look how pretty it is.
It's gorgeous. And then the trick there, a little trick, and these are the types of things that you learn in cooking class, is you spray the pan, flour it with cocoa powder, spray it again, flour it again with cocoa powder. So it's a double process. And then your cake will flip out just like that with no cracks. And then this is cocoa powder, butter, bourbon, and powdered sugar.
Oh, that looks so good.
And a little touch of Coca-Cola. Oh, that's my favorite thing right there.
How did you use the Coke here? Was it in your glaze?
It was in the cake, and it's in the glaze. And then the bourbon is in the cake, and it's in the glaze. So that's how we did that. And so you can have it, as you can see, it can run in your entrees, it can run through your desserts, and you can drink it and enjoy it. You don't want to use an inexpensive, now you don't want to use like a Pappy's or something very expensive and precious like that. But you want to use what you drink because the perfect complement to this would be a couple fingers of bourbon with a glass, you know, with an ice cube in it as you're enjoying your Coke and bourbon bundt cake or your peach and bourbon sandwiches.
I've seen people do like the beer chicken. That's very common, right?
That is very common, yes. And that is just adding moisture in those flavors. And I love using seasonal beers. These brew houses, these craft breweries around here, they do seasonal releases. And the one that really caught my attention this year was the jalapeno beers that were coming out.
Ooh, that'll add a little kick to it.
Yes, it does. And it's just a warmth. And so I created a beer cheese that's really light. And I showcased that a couple of weeks ago here. But it has really turned out to be very, very popular. It's just lighter and perfect with vegetables.
So you saw Janine cook a little dish with bourbon and also with beer, and you're doing this. And if you're watching this at home and you're thinking, well, I want to learn how to do this, this is a great opportunity for you to hook up with Janine, because you can learn how to do this. And you have a class coming out too.
Yes, on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 6:30. It's 6:30 till 9, and we will cook with beer. We will cook with bourbon. You'll get tips, tricks, and you also get to taste it. So as I make it, I have a couple of helpers. They slice and serve things up, and you get to taste and ask questions. And sometimes it's so pretty, they'll even come up and take pictures. So feel free.
So the price for it,
$65 a person.
That also includes
a couple of glasses of wine to go along with our delicious offerings.
Wonderful. So there's still spots available. Where's this happening at, Janine?
Yeah, it's at Cooking at the Cottage in St. Matthews.
Okay.
Very convenient.
So a great way to learn, even ask your expertise advice on, hey, I've got these ideas, what can I do with it?
I'm sure that we'll go off, kind of in left field a little bit, because it always happens that way. It's very conversational. I invite people to ask questions at any point in the process. And so, yes, we will be talking about anything and everything.
I've done a cake decorating, cookie decorating class with my daughter before, and these type of things are so much fun. When you're going with somebody, you get to learn something new, ask questions, meet other people. It's a great socializing thing.
It really is, and it's great as a first date or, a second or third date, because it's in a group of people. There's no lack of conversation. You're laughing, you're having fun. You kind of can see, what he or she likes to eat, what they don't like to eat or drink. So, yeah, you can totally, have
a little bit of fun.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Where can folks go for more information?
Go out to Flavor Queen's Kitchen or Flavor Queen, and you will find recipes and pictures there.
All right, great. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm going to have some of this cake a little bit later.